Right now, millions of Social Security recipients across America are waking up to a deposit they did not expect. And if you're one of the nearly 71 million beneficiaries, this directly affects your money. The Social Security Administration has confirmed a 2.8% COLA increase for 2026, and for many seniors, that pushes monthly payments close to or beyond the $2,100 mark, showing up earlier than usual in some cases. Here's what most people are not being told. SSI recipients already received their boosted January payment on December 31st, one full day early, because of a federal holiday calendar shift that the SSA quietly put in place. And that's just the beginning. There's also a brand new tax deduction, up to $6,000 for Americans aged 65 and older, that could reduce or completely wipe out the taxes you owe on your Social Security income. This is real, this is confirmed, and most seniors are completely in the dark about it. Stay with me, because what comes next could change how much money you're actually keeping every single month. So let's start right where things get real. The Social Security Administration, that's the federal agency that manages your benefits, officially confirmed a 2.8% cost of living adjustment for 2026. Now, 2.8% might not sound like a jaw-dropping number at first, but when you do the math for millions of Americans, that modest percentage translates into something much bigger than most people realize. According to the SSA, the 2.8% increase translates to about $56 more per month for the average retiree, pushing the average monthly check to roughly $2,071. And for people who have been receiving higher than average benefits based on their work history, that number climbs well past $2,100 a month. So when you saw that number in the title, it's not clickbait, it's math, real math, based on real SSA data. Now, here's the part that genuinely shocked a lot of people. If you're one of the millions who receive supplemental security income, what most folks call SSI, your boosted payment did not arrive on January 1st like you might have expected. It arrived early. The SSA issued increased SSI payments starting December 31st, 2025, because January 1st is a federal holiday. So imagine it being December 31st, you're getting ready to ring in the new year, and suddenly a larger than usual deposit hits your bank account. That's exactly what happened to millions of Americans across this country. For a lot of seniors who live paycheck to paycheck, or in this case, benefit check to benefit check, that one-day shift made a genuine, meaningful difference in how they started 2026. And most of them had no idea it was coming. That's the problem. That's what this video is here to fix. Let's talk about who actually received an early payment and how the whole system works, because the SSA's payment schedule is one of the most misunderstood things in retirement planning. A lot of people think Social Security just drops money in your account on the first of every month. That is not how it works for most people. The SSA distributes payments based on the date of birth of the recipient. If you were born between the 1st and 10th of any month, you receive your payment on the second Wednesday of the month. If you were born between the 11th and 20th, your payment arrives on the third Wednesday. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st, your payment comes on the fourth Wednesday of the month. That's the standard schedule for people who started receiving benefits after May of 1997. If you've been in the system longer than that, you fall under a different schedule entirely. People who began collecting Social Security before May 1997, or who receive both Social Security and SSI, get their payments on the third of every month. And here's where it gets important again. When that third of the month falls on a weekend or a holiday, the SSA moves your payment to the previous business day. That means some beneficiaries in that group received their January 2026 payment on January 2nd because January 3rd fell on a weekend. They woke up to that larger COLA-boosted check 2 days before they might have expected it. And for people who had bills due, rent coming up, or prescriptions to refill, that early deposit wasn't just a nice surprise. It was actually helpful in a very practical day-to-day kind of way. Now, let's get into the bigger picture of what this 2.8% COLA actually means for different groups of people, because not everyone received the same dollar amount of increase. For SSI recipients, the maximum monthly payment for individuals increased by $27, going from $967 to $994. For eligible couples on SSI, the maximum went up by $41, moving from $1,450 to $1,491. Those increases might seem small on paper, but for people living on a fixed income with no other source of money coming in, an extra $27 or $40 a month is not something to dismiss. That's a week of groceries in some households. That's a utility bill. That's a prescription copay. Every dollar matters at that level, and the SSA adjustment is designed to make sure those dollars stretch a little further. For people receiving Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, the picture is similar. The estimated average monthly SSDI benefit increased by $44, rising from $1,586 in 2025 to approximately $1,130 in 2026. Again, the exact amount varies person to person because SSDI benefits are calculated based on your individual work history and lifetime earnings before your disability. But across the board, every single SSDI recipient saw their monthly check go up. Every one of them. The increase was automatic, it was official, and it was tied directly to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that measured how much prices went up from the third quarter of 2024 through the third quarter of 2025. Here's something worth understanding about how the COLA is actually calculated, because it helps you appreciate why the SSA uses this particular method. The 2.8% adjustment was determined based on the increase in the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, known as the CPIW, measured from the third quarter of 2024 through the third quarter of 2025. This index tracks what everyday working Americans pay for things like food, housing, transportation, and medical care. The SSA uses it specifically to make sure that your benefits don't lose purchasing power over time. In plain English, if the cost of living went up 2.8% last year, your check goes up 2.8% to match. It's a protection built right into the system, and it's been there since 1975. It is not a gift from politicians. It is a legal mechanism put in place by Congress to protect your money. Now let's talk about something that a truly shocking number of seniors are completely unaware of. And I want to be very clear here. This is coming directly from the IRS and was signed into law by President Trump in July of 2025 as part of what he called the One Big Beautiful Bill. There is a brand new tax deduction available to anyone who is 65 years old or older, and it is significant. For tax years 2025 through 2028, taxpayers who are 65 or older may be eligible to claim an additional $6,000 deduction per person, or $12,000 if you are married filing jointly and both spouses qualify. This is not a credit, it's a deduction. And here is the part that surprises most people. It is available whether you itemize your deductions or take the standard deduction. You don't have to go through the hassle of itemizing every single expense to claim this. You just have to be 65 or older and meet the income requirements. What are those income requirements? The deduction begins to phase out for individuals with a modified adjusted gross income above $75,000, and for married couples filing jointly, the phase out begins at $150,000. So if your total income, including Social Security, pension, IRA withdrawals, and anything else is below those thresholds, you likely qualify for the full $6,000, and that deduction could directly reduce the taxes you owe on your Social Security income, which is something that bothers a lot of retirees, and rightfully so. You paid into the system your whole working life, and now you get taxed on the benefits you earned. This new deduction is the closest thing to relief from that situation that has actually been signed into law. The new $6,000 senior deduction is estimated to benefit approximately 33.9 million seniors, and it produces an average increase in after-tax income of $670 per qualifying senior. For a married couple where both spouses qualify, that average savings could double. Let's put that in real terms. That's potentially hundreds of dollars per year coming back into your pocket. Money that used to go to the IRS now staying in your bank account. That is not nothing. For someone living on a fixed Social Security income, $670 is several months of electric bills. It's multiple trips to the pharmacy. It's breathing room that didn't exist before. Now let's circle back to the $2,100 figure, because some of you are probably wondering, my check is not that high. Am I doing something wrong? And the honest answer is not necessarily. There are several reasons why your specific benefit might be lower than the average, and none of them mean you made a mistake. According to the SSA itself, If you retire at full retirement age in 2026, the maximum possible benefit is $4,152. If you claimed at age 62, the maximum is $2,169. And if you waited until age 70 to claim, the maximum reaches $5,181. But those are maximums, meaning they apply only to people who earned the absolute highest taxable wages for 35 full years. The SSA reports that only about 6% of covered workers earn at or above that level each year. So if you're not getting anywhere near those top numbers, you are in the company of the vast majority of Americans. The $2,100 figure that circulated widely is actually quite achievable for people who had solid, consistent working histories and who either claimed at or near full retirement age, or who have already been receiving benefits for several years with COLA increases stacking up on top of each other year after year. In January 2026, the actual average Social Security monthly check for retirement workers was $2,074.53, according to the SSA's monthly snapshot. So the $2,100 figure is not an outlier. It is right there at the average. Millions of people are at or above it. But here's what a lot of seniors don't fully understand, and this is where I really want you to pay attention. Your benefit amount is not permanently locked in forever. There are legitimate legal strategies that can increase what you receive, and the SSA actually encourages people to explore them. One of the most powerful is simply delaying your claim. Delaying Social Security beyond your full retirement age provides a guaranteed return of 8% per year up to age 70. That means for every year you wait past your full retirement age, which is 67 for most people born in 1960 or later, your monthly benefit grows by 8%. That is a guaranteed, risk-free return that no bank, no CD, no money market account in America can match right now. If you are approaching retirement age and you have other income to lean on, even waiting 1 or 2 years longer can dramatically change your financial picture for the rest of your life. Another thing that often gets overlooked is making sure your earnings record is accurate. The SSA calculates your benefit based on your 35 highest earning years, adjusted for inflation. If there are any errors in your record, years that were not credited correctly, wages that were misreported, that directly affects your monthly payment. You have the right to review your full earnings history, and you should. The easiest way to do that is through your free My Social Security account at SSA.gov. Through your My Social Security account, you can manage tasks like requesting a replacement Social Security card, receiving updates about the COLA, updating your direct deposit information, and getting your Social Security 1099 form. It is completely free to create and use, and it puts all of your information in one secure place. If you haven't set one up yet, that is one of the most valuable things you can do for your financial security right now. Let's also talk about something that trips up a surprising number of seniors who are still working part-time or picking up occasional income. If you are younger than full retirement age in 2026, the earnings limit has been set at $24,480. For every $2 you earn above that amount, the SSA deducts $1 from your benefits. However, once you reach full retirement age, you may keep all of your benefits no matter how much you earn. This is a rule that catches people off guard all the time. You pick up a part-time job, you feel good about the extra income, and then you get a letter from the SSA saying your benefits have been reduced. Knowing this threshold ahead of time lets you plan around it so you don't lose money unnecessarily. The bottom line here is that 2026 is a year with more positive Social Security news than we've seen in a while. A 2.8% COLA increase touching over 75 million Americans. A brand new $6,000 tax deduction for everyone 65 and older. Early payments that already landed in millions of accounts before the new year even began. And a payment schedule that, once you understand it, is actually quite predictable and manageable. The system is more generous than many people give it credit for, and the changes happening right now are worth knowing about in detail. This is your money. You earned it. You contributed to it every single working year of your life. The least you deserve is to understand exactly how it works, exactly when it arrives, and exactly what you're entitled to. That's why videos like this exist. Not to scare you, not to confuse you, but to make sure you walk away informed, prepared, and ready to make the most of every single dollar you've got coming to you.